Would you like to learn a really simple side hustle that has the power to make you $1,000 or more every single month and doesn't involve anything very technical? Well, on this video, I'm going to break it down for you. It's something very different, but it's something that we do here at Marketplace Superheroes, and I think you're going to love it. Alright, so why am I coming to you today with a side hustle? Well, the answer is really simple. I see time and time again here at Marketplace Superheroes, a lot of people are starting into building an Amazon-based business or any e-commerce business for that matter, but we obviously teach Amazon private label. And I see people saying things to me like, Stephen, hey, I don't have enough money to grow my business. I only have enough to start a few products and all of that. And while sometimes that's not always true, let's face it, people are going on vacations and buying iPhones and all the rest. Sometimes it is absolutely true. But hey, why not have the vacation and the iPhone and do it as well? So in this video, I want to break down something that is really, really doable for every single one of you. And it's something that we are actually doing here to grow Marketplace Superheroes. And as a matter of fact, it's something people are really trying to give me money to do, but I don't have the time to do it. So hopefully I can show you enough in this video that you can see whether or not this is something that you want to take a look at doing. So we call this really the little known side hustle that generates $1,000 or more every single month. And the good news is it's less than $200 to get something like this up and running. So here's the business model. I'm actually going to jump to my screen to show you this. Here's what we do. The first thing is we find podcasts. Yes, we're talking about podcasts today who interview people on a weekly or daily basis. There's lots of them, as you'll see in a second. Then what do? Well, we find experts who are looking for a way to get their message out to the world inexpensively. We're one of those people. It's not the inexpensive part that's interesting for us though. It's the fact that we can go on for 60 minutes and we can talk about what we do to a group of people who are interested in learning how things work. And the third thing then is we connect experts with these interview-based podcasts and charge them per interview. Real simple. So number one, find podcasts. Two, find experts. Three, connect them together and you get paid every time you book somebody on a podcast. And you're probably wondering, well, this sounds really weird, Stephen. Does this actually make money? Absolutely. This is something we've actually personally paid a lot of money for in the past. So why podcasts? Like right now, there's over 750,000 podcast shows and 30% of them are actually interview-based. So that means there are 225,000 interview-based shows on multiple topics from everything you can imagine. And that number is growing all the time. And that actually means there's approximately 11.7 million interviews produced yearly. That's actually really incredible when you think about that. And the number is growing all the time. Like podcasts right now are still in their infancy. It's something that's going to continue to grow. And these podcast agencies are growing. And in this video, I want to talk about how you can become a mini podcast agent and make a lot of money doing it. So there's things to consider as well as I mentioned, podcasts are growing. Well, how much are they growing by? Well, you can see on screen right now by 2022, this is growing. This is the number of millions of people that are listening to podcasts. By 2022, there'll be 132 million listeners. And it's probably going to grow even more than that because this is an exponential thing. In simple English, it's growing really, really fast all the time. And the reason that people like myself love podcasts, right? Very simple. Like the first thing is we can reach tens or thousands of people in one sitting. Right? Really, really good. The second thing is it's inexpensive to produce and it produces sales for our company all the time. Like Marketplace Superheroes in many ways was built off the back of podcasts. So it's something we absolutely love and something I do all the time. Podcast listeners are so valuable to people like me and other experts. Podcast listeners typically make more money and they're listening to you for longer, so they're more invested in your message. So I absolutely love getting on them and experts do too. The problem is it's hard for them to do it. It's time-wise, knowledge-wise, they don't even know how to find podcasts. I'll show you that in just a second. So this is a really untapped market you should be considering. Also, they don't have to go anywhere to reach these people, right? I can just sit in my house or my office and I can do these interviews, which is absolutely huge because if I went and talked on stage, which I do from time to time, I have to fly there. Right? And that's a lot of hassle. It's money as well. Podcasts, that all goes out the window, which is really big. And if you do 3 to 5 podcasts a week as an expert, you can really grow your business and you can make money booking in that person 3 to 5 times a week. So now let's talk about the 3 pillars to success with this model. And the first thing is just to mention like, well, how can you make 2 to 5 grand doing something like this? Is it even possible? Is it possible to make $1,000 per month in your pocket every month? I'm going to break down those numbers for you. Then we're going to talk about how to find podcasts who are looking for high quality experts to fuel their content every single week. And then we're going to look at how to find experts that are looking for podcasts. Very, very simple. And the good news is These experts are absolutely everywhere because the expert industry, the knowledge industry, is growing all the time. It's estimated to be worth $325 billion over the next couple of years. So this is a huge market, and podcasts are growing at the same time. So you're getting in on something at a really, really cool time. So let's talk about the first piece and break down the income kind of thing. We talk about the rule of 5 at Marketplace Superheroes. If you've never heard about that before, it's just a really simple framework for looking at how with 5 products selling on Amazon in 5 markets, you can really grow a business very, very quickly. I'm going to call this the mini rule of 5 for podcasting. So what does that look like? Well, let's imagine that you can find 5 podcast accepting guests, right? That's the first thing. Then let's look at 5 experts who want interviews. So we got 5 podcasts, we got 5 experts. Now we look at finding 5 shows looking for interviews. You can charge $200 every time you lock in a show for an expert. Very, very simple. So, if you have 5 experts and you've got 5 different shows, technically you've got 25 bookings. A very, very simple mathematics. It's not that complicated. Now, you can actually charge at a minimum $100 to $200 every time you book in somebody. And you might be thinking I'm insane, but no. And the reason you're going to be successful with something like this is because you don't want to build a huge agency. You just want a small number of clients and you're going to book them on podcasts all the time. I mean, literally, you could have one good client and just book them onto 3 to 5 shows a week. You'd make a nice income. Really quickly, I hope you're enjoying this one and you're learning something that you can actually do, practical information that makes your life better. And with that said, if you want me to make more videos on different side hustles that you can do like this, give you more details so that you can figure out if this is something you want to do, give me a hashtag side hustle down in the comments right now and like this video on the way. It really helps when we have lots of comments and lots of likes. It really helps. So please do that and let me know you want more. If you don't, that's absolutely fine as well. I only want to make things that you really want. So hashtag side hustle down below and like the video. So with 25 bookings at $200, let's just say you do that in a month, that's $5,000 in money that has been paid into your business every single month. Let's just say you only had one expert and you put them into 5 shows, right? One expert, 5 shows. 5 shows by $200, $1,000 every single month. And I'm telling you, like for me, I want 3 to 5 shows every week. So if you were booking me 5 shows a week, you'd be booking 5 by 4 is 20, $4,000. You can see it's huge. It's a really huge opportunity. And again, I'm not selling you anything today whatsoever. I'm just telling you how it works, why it works, and this is something you should consider. So with a little bit of effort and application, you can absolutely do this. So let's talk about another key secret to this, which is building relationships. So let's say, for example, that you have those 5 shows you booked an expert in on, right? And you got different experts. The great news is you can book new experts on the exact same shows, and you get that money every single time you book them on a show. Why? Because they're getting bookings. The expert doesn't know that you've already worked with that show, and actually you working with that show already is a really, really good thing because the interview went so well with the expert you put them on initially. This new expert is getting all the benefit of that. You've already gone out and proven this is a good podcast for someone to get onto. So now I'm going to actually break down how to find these shows really, really simply. So as you can see on screen right now, we are over on the iTunes store. There's lots of different places podcasts live on. I just use this as a simple example because it's kind of an easier way to get started. So that's the first thing we want. Second thing is we want to go over to Google and we want to use something called online summits as a way to find ideas for experts, for speakers. So why am I using 2 of these? It'll all become clear in just a second. So let's just take any market and let's just go with yoga summits online. Let's just Google that, right? So we're looking for an online summit, which is basically where a whole bunch of speakers come together on a topic online and they all present a different topic. So why is this good? Well, number one, we know these people are out there speaking on a topic. But number 2, then we're going to utilize these people's names to find different podcasts that they've been on that are already accepting speakers, right? So if you have a yoga client, you can utilize this process to quickly find shows you could book somebody in on. Let's just make this real simple for you now. So we got a yoga, let's see, well, we got so many yoga summits actually. This one right here. Actually, I should have clicked on speakers in the first place. Let's do that right now. So we click on speakers. Right? And we got lots of different people speaking on different topics. Let's just take this lady here, Danielle Laporte, and we'll go over to our podcast. I'm actually going to search her name. Make sure you're in podcast, by the way, and you're in the store. And also, I'm in the US right now. This is important. So we'll search Danielle Laporte. We're going to get back a whole bunch of different results. So right here, right, these are podcasts she's been on. So you can click here, see all, and these are shows that Danielle is associated with. So why is this good? Well, we have now found shows that accept interviews. Boom. Because that's what we need. We can't just find any old podcast. We need to know they're already accepting interviews. So we can see so many here actually. So let's say Mom is in Control podcast. Let's just click on that, right? So we go in here and then we can see, actually look, it's inspired by Danielle Laporte. So she may not actually have been on this show, but it's inspired by her, which is actually cool because when you scroll down, you can see interview with Amanda Walker. You can see interview with Tara, I can't see this name, Tara Newman, right? Interview with Ariel Garten. So this show accepts interviews from female experts on a lot of different topics. So that's absolutely massive. So that is the process of finding shows that already accept experts. Now, on the other hand, then, the third thing we're going to talk about is, well, how do you find the experts? Well, we've just seen the methodology. This is one way. We can go and look at summits in a particular category, a particular niche, and we can find people who've already been online speaking. So we can look at all these different people. Let's just take, I'm going to take Melly O'Brien. No idea if she's been on podcasts before. Let's find out. So I'll put her name in here, search. Here we go. So let's come back. So she looks to have her own Melly O'Brien Connect. Okay, so she's been on podcasts for sure. So see all. Not quite as many here. That's okay. But we see different shows again that are examples. So let's just take a look at this one here, Martha Bassett Show. We also see different people's names, so we can get a feel for, well, these are most likely an interview show. Now, something to consider is also these releases, right? If you don't see that they're up to date, it means the show is probably no longer active. But that's at a very simple level, how you can find experts, how you can find shows. And you can go to any different vertical and you can type in, niche, so yoga plus online summit, and you can start finding more and more of these. There's lots of other ways as well, but I want to just give you a quick, simple way to start thinking, get your brain thinking in a different way as well. Now, the process from there is very simple. We find shows, we make a list of those shows in a spreadsheet. We find experts, we make a list of those, and we start connecting them together. There's a whole process for how you can reach out to these people. I don't really have time to go into that in depth today because this video would literally be an hour or 2 hours long, but I really wanted to get you thinking. And of course, I will give you a resource you can check out in just a second to take this on another step if that's what you want to do. Okay, so I did mention that, if you want to take it further, I do have a resource for you. Again, it's not a pitch, it's just if you want to check it out, you can. Down in the description or in the first link, you're going to be able to go and check out a program that we did put together on this, and it's called the Podcast Agent. It has everything in there from how this all works in more detail right through to the scripts, literal email scripts that you can just take, swipe and use, and so much more. People are using it right now to make really good income doing it. It's not something you have to do, by the way. It's just something that if you want to, you can. It's there for you. But you can take the process that I've talked about today. You can fill in some of the blanks. You could Google things if you really had to, script for podcast for podcast guests or whatever, and you can figure it out. Or you can just take the shortcut and invest in a program. It's really inexpensive. It's absolutely up to you. It really doesn't matter to me which way you want to go. I just want to see you get some success in this and make $1,000 or more every single month. Now, if you haven't already liked this video, make sure you do that now as well. It helps other people know this is something they should be taking a look at. The content is good, and that really, really helps us. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you have not subscribed to the channel for some insane reason, make sure you subscribe right now where I can show you lots more stuff just like this and in even more detail. And so, thank you. I'll see you in the next video.